The good news is I haven't spotted any Channel 4 employees playing hooky tonight. It's pup tents, parkas, pretzels, and propane. It's a video gamer's survival guide to help them get their hands on the holiday's hot new toy. Wendy, if you're a messy Marvin or a sloppy Sally, you better beware, because if your bag, your carry-on bag, looks anything like this, well, now police have videotaped surveillance of that very accident. And it's all thanks to that camera. And we have it too. Homes and businesses can put away the sandbags for now, because the good news is the Potomac River is back where it belongs. Closer look at this memorial. You'll notice that several classmates and friends left their messages of sympathy on pieces and fragments of the car that Christopher Kearns died in. 330. That's how many days in front of your departure date that airlines start putting flights into their reservation system. I find it hard to believe, but I have a better shot of dating a supermodel than of winning the $250 million grand prize. Jim, the 7-year-old, and his father were crossing Annapolis Road after leaving that Hyattsville liquor store when they were both struck by a car that inexplicably just kept on going.
John?
Jim, a 3-alarm fire, like you mentioned, calling out more than 150 firefighters, evacuating more than a half-dozen homes, all to make sure that it can save a business started more than 75 years ago. Amateur video captures what firefighters first saw on Monday afternoon. This tire technician saw too much. He was inside Jimmy's House of Tires in Northeast when the fire started. How bad was it?
At first, not that bad. Until we got out here, then it just got out of hand. And anybody watching this, I need a job.
Witnesses say a spark from construction at a housing project next door is to blame. Not good news for the son of the tire shop's owner.
And nobody was in there to even try to stop any spark or anything from happening, and it's caused the first floor to catch on fire. There's thousands and thousands of tires in there, and it's going to burn for a long time.
Jimmy's House of Tires was first started back in the 1920s. Moved to this location on K Street Northeast more than 30 years ago.
It really is a disaster. So I don't know hard to say what to think.
Hours later, smoke continues to reach the sky above the brick structure, with thousands of tires serving as fuel.
We're guessing this is going to take quite a while to bring it under control.
Minor firefighter injury to report. Environmental officials paying close attention to the scene as well. They're taking air and water samples at the scene. As for an official cause, well, that investigation, because the fire is still burning, hasn't even begun yet. And another problem out here, Jim, is the weather. As you can see over here, that's a lot of salt that are thrown out here because they pumped a lot of water that runs off onto the streets. They want to make sure when they eventually open up K Street Northeast and Florida Avenue that people, when they get out on the road, don't start slipping across the roadway. You got that right, Jim. You know, it was impossible not to get caught up in all the hype over at AU. I even lost my voice as the underdog Eagles and their fans try to pull off the impossible hoop dream. So you think these American University fans aren't into it? Students, hundreds of Eagles packed into a cafeteria, reached a fever pitch.
Shocked, utterly shocked. But no, they're doing a great job so far, and I just hope they keep it close.
But not every student was caught watching the scoreboard. Despite the team's historic accomplishment, for some, history class wins out.
We'll be following online, probably.
So paying more attention to the game than the...
Mostly, yeah, but I gotta be there.
The pressure on the players reached their fans hundreds of miles away. The look in their eyes as the game started to slip away. And even as time ran out on the Eagles' season, their fans couldn't be prouder. Win, or in this case, lose.
I'm really proud of the guys. They did great, and that's all we could ask.
You have to stick with it to the end. I mean, no matter what happens, there are, basketball team, there are schoolmates.
I can't wait to welcome these guys back because we went all the way out there and we made ourselves proud.
To cheer on their basketball team's first ever trip to the NCAAs.
This is so exciting. Campus has been crazy all week.
Oh, it's totally exciting. Not what I expected.
Hoop hysteria, even in some of the worst seats in the house.
It's fun to be here with the crowd and everything. More fun than watching it by yourself in the room.
And as the Eagles gave Tennessee everything they could handle on the court, the fans' excitement inside this campus cafeteria. Despite the final score, if this team accomplished just one thing, far fewer people will ever wonder, where's American University? Jim, this letter will be sent in English and in Spanish to every single Loudoun County Sanitation Authority customer, detailing the new water restrictions and the penalties you'll face if you add to the county's water woes. Loudoun County's water emergency aims to cut consumer consumption to just 75 gallons a day. That'll put a squeeze on this Leesburg green thumb.
It's been horrible. I mean, the grass, we put in sod a couple of years ago, and it's been an ongoing battle just to keep the yard from going totally dormant.
The ordinance prohibits watering of grass, trees, or plants with anything more than 3 gallons of water. Loudoun County is only a few drops behind Stafford County, which is now shutting the water off on its worst violators.
We need to shave off that demand. We're about 29 million gallons a day. We need to get that down to 20 million gallons a day.
Ornamental fountains should be shut off until further notice. In Loudoun County, the well is really running dry. Beaver Dam just 20% full, only 300 million gallons in reserve.
We can't rely on it anymore. Now we have to look to demand, and mandatory restrictions, unfortunately, is the only way to go.
The water restrictions will extend to all of Loudoun County's restaurants as well. They'll be told not to give water to customers unless they ask for it. Customers will get the heads up with this informational letter, and violators will first get a warning from police before a $500 fine.
I just had these trees put in yesterday, and they require water every day, so it looks like I might be in a lot of trouble.
As residents cope with one of the worst droughts in years, this one only hopes the water shortage won't land her in deep water with authorities. They'll also be putting 20 electrical road signs across the county to help get the message out about these new water restrictions. And if things get worse, they could move on to stage 2, Jim, which would limit consumer consumption to just 40 gallons a day. Got milk? Well, the Charmar Dairy Farm has fewer gallons to bottle as detectives search for some cow nappers.
You had to look for the cows. They were gone.
This is Charles, the Char of Charmar Dairy Farm in Burkittsville, Maryland. And this is his son, Dwight.
We look for them everywhere around here.
Together, the Brandenburg family has been farming for half a century. And in all that time, they say they've never been a victim of a heifer heist.
We go through all the herds and look for them, and they're just not here anymore.
And then you think that.
Yes.
Each and every cow is tagged with a number, but with 600 plus head of cattle and nearly 1,000 acres, it's not easy to keep track of the cow's every movement. Who would do such a thing?
How do I know?
Those missing cows were first noticed when they checked the computer records for the herd's milk production. Each cow's milked twice a day. Each yields 8 gallons of milk.
There's 178, nothing. 204, nothing.
Frederick County investigators are leaving no cow pie unturned to catch the bovine burglars.
If they haven't been auctioned off, if they haven't been slaughtered, then that's a good chance that these might have them on some property, maybe in this county or jurisdiction.
The Brandenburgs think that the cow crooks backed their vehicle right up to this barn and then made off with a few cattle at a time over several days. In all, 23 cows were stolen, nearly 2 dozen that the family says they don't plan on seeing again. Yes, there were hundreds of witnesses, but so far they're not talking, as this family gets back to business till the cows come home.
Well, I doubt if we'll ever get them back, but we got them assured.
And you can only guess that the family has been staking out employees across the 1,000-acre farm, hoping, Wendy, to prevent an utter theft.